John Janssen, and I thank you for taking him from me, Alexis.
And I'm thankful that he left you.
Perfect.
Virtual reality. Hi, I'm Danny Murphy.
And I'm Evan Real.
And Orange County is back, and we know what all the ladies are talking about this kickoff, Evan.
Oh my God, yeah, Orange County is back with a bang, and it's all about Miss Shannon Beador. She opened the door on some new drama. Of course, everyone is unpacking her DUI arrest.
On the night of the DUI, I drove to John's house, stupidly. We got into a big argument, and he said, "You're a drunken idiot. Don't get in your car." But I got in an accident seconds later because I revved up the engine so he could know how mad I was, and I lost control of the car immediately.
That happened just a little bit before filming kicked off. And then, of course, her confrontation with Alexis Bellino, which happens right there at the end of the premiere.
Because I think what the real issue is here is that I have your ex-boyfriend. That's what the real issue is. So guess what? Move on.
Like, we really got it all and more, Danny. This was a great premiere episode.
I kind of love, because of course I have to assume, when she said it, Shannon was a little nervous going into that big first group scene. The nerves wore off. She went in, apologized to Gina.
Because I apologize for any and everything that I did to hurt you, because I don't want to hurt people.
And said, "Where's Alexis?"
I think I should just walk up to her right now and say, "Can we have a chat?"
Why? That's so brave. Good for you.
Why not?
Yeah.
Should I do it outside?
And literally, she went full bachelorette mode. "Hey, can I steal you for a second?"
Oh, hi.
Hi there.
Shannon.
Can we have a chat outside? Do you mind? Okay. Perfect.
She went full bachelorette mode, and then I guess apparently the girl has a set design degree.
You just move that to that shade part?
Like, let's pull the table over here. The better lighting is over here, and she got to work. I got to give it to Shannon. Like, she went through a lot before filming kicked off, and I think it took a lot of courage and bravery to even step back in front of the cameras. Now, I think there is still a debate over whether or not she's taken accountability for what happened. I think she would tell you that she has. I don't know. I know Tamara definitely would not agree with you.
I don't think Gina would agree with you.
I think Emily would be like a little bit on the fence about it. But yeah, I mean, look, she showed up to work. And for that, we appreciate you, Shannon Beador.
Now, what do you... On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you fully believe, 0 being let's be real. Shannon saying she's mainly mad at Alexis Bellino because of the lawsuit.
I've been upset that you were involved in the lawsuit.
That she's like, I don't care about John Janssen. I care about this lawsuit. And I swear I have the letter somewhere where you are the start of it. Like, what do you think about that?
I think it's a little hard to believe, because the confusing part is that Tamara, who was also involved in the lawsuit and lost more money, Tamara lost $500,000 versus Shannon's $300,000.
In 2018, Jim Bellino sued Shannon and I for defamation. The case has been closed. I can't really talk about any kind of settlement, but we both lost a lot of money. Shannon lost $300,000, I lost $500,000.
She's not upset with Alexis for it, and Tamara made it clear in the episode that when the lawsuit was filed, when the legal battle was brewing, that Alexis and Jim Bellino, the one who sued both Shannon and Tamara for defamation, they weren't together. They had been, I think it was about 6 months divorced at that time.
If you go back to any court documents and anything else, show me the proof of my name being on anything, because Jim and I had been divorced for 6 months when he sued you.
So Alexis wasn't part of it. Shannon's argument is you sent the cease and desist, and that got things rolling.
You sent Tamara and I a cease and desist letter. It was your signature, and I will dig it up. It was
Move on.
But a cease and desist is different than a lawsuit. You don't have to pay $300,000 to get rid of a cease and desist letter.
And I wonder if, well, Tamara said it's water under the bridge because she made the money back not once, not twice, not 3 times. I think she said she like quadrupled.
Yeah, I think she actually said 5 times that $500,000 that she lost. Now, I don't know if Shannon has made that money back. Maybe that's why she's still upset about it, or maybe it's just the principle of it. Like, don't send me a cease and desist. Maybe like C&D's really set her off. Didn't Tamara have like a funny cease and desist line from years ago? What did she call?
Oh, wait, with the manila envelope.
And a cease and assist, I think.
Cease and assist, yes.
So Tamara just doesn't cease and desist. They don't even like, they're not in her orbit, you know. She's like, she can't be bothered. She's like, I'm gonna make my 500,000 times 5 later on. Let's not worry about it. But for Shannon, it's clearly triggering.
Well, I do also love, because it seems like Tamara's just like, yeah, I did it. I did talk about you. Okay. Like, I think that's why she is a workaholic, Tamara. Maybe because she's like, I know I'm gonna run my mouth, and I know there might be a chance someone might not like what I say, and I could end up in a situation like this. So let me keep working so I can keep talking.
Right. Well, and she even did just tell us, Danny, in our interview, she was like, it was a very expensive lesson that I learned. And she took accountability. She was like, I shouldn't have gotten on stage and said the things that I said about Jim Bellino. So she learned her lesson for sure. I don't know. Do you think that Shannon, just from what you've seen on the premiere episode, because there are so many opinions thrown around, do you think that Shannon has learned her lesson or is in the process of learning her lesson? Like, how do you perceive her processing of her DUI situation, her transitioning to drinking more Diet Coke?
I have to tell you, this is a huge deal for me to have Diet Coke in this house.
Or only having 2 alcoholic beverages in an, like, what do you think of it?
How dare
Why are you smiling?
What?
Danny can't even talk.
What do I think about? No, I'm worried. I don't want to learn an expensive lesson. I feel, in my opinion, I think maybe there's still a state of shock going on. I think Shannon hasn't had, because this is kind of pretty quickly after the fact. I think it might be more beneficial to sit in some things a little bit more, you know, maybe pet Archie a little bit more, inhale, exhale a little bit more, because I think it's also a hard part of you're going on a reality show where, of course, people are going to question you. And I think that might be why she's on so much more of the defensive than someone in her situation should be. You know, because there's a lot of people asking very valid questions. Like even the lunch she had with Emily, which I'm annoyed we just got like the flashback of that. We didn't get like the full on sit down where Emily is kind of asking her like real talk, like, so what's the plan, Stan? And Shannon's kind of like, I have my 2 drinks. Like she's like a comedy show. Instead of a 2-drink minimum, she's like, I have a 2-drink maximum. And then good night and good luck. And I just think that's a very hard task for any person to do, where especially, you know, you're going out, like and it's like you can't just be like, oh my God, I'm gonna have 2 glasses of wine. And then if everybody else orders another wine, you just go, oh no, I'm good. I'll have an iced tea now. It's so much harder they always say it's harder to say no to the 3rd drink than the 1st drink. You know what I mean? So I feel there's some levels of that. And I do think this energy is not going to do Shannon any favors with the ladies, because I think they were expecting her to be a little bit more of, I did something bad, because obviously, and she's kind of just sweeping it under.
Yeah, and what I do appreciate from her cast members is that they're not sugarcoating their feelings about it at all. Like you mentioned with Emily, she even
I was trying to right now. They weren't doing it at all.
No, I mean, Emily asks Shannon straight to her face, like, do you think like sobriety could be an option? And then in a conversation with Gina, a private conversation that Shannon wasn't involved in, they both agreed, like, we think that she could benefit from rehab.
Do you think that she should just be alcohol-free going forward?
I think she should have went to rehab.
Well, yeah, I think so too.
I feel like Shannon spiraled.
Yes.
And right into a house.
You know, we just talked to Tamara. Tamara also agreed with them that she believes that Shannon could benefit from rehab. And I know that one's relationship with alcohol and their decision to go to rehab is so personal. And who's to say that Shannon needs to go to rehab? But it's just, it's a concern or a thought or something that would naturally fly across one's mind when they see that footage of the dented apartment building and
her
just
face after.
I know the face was shocking. The bloodied face was truly, truly shocking. I mean, you saw it on Heather DuBro's face. She could not believe it. And to think
and she's married to Mr. Botched.
Well, she was probably like, "Do you need to go see Dr. Terry?" Like, maybe she did see Dr. Terry because you would not ever notice a trace of it because we saw Shan. We didn't get to speak to her at BravoCon, but BravoCon was just a little bit right after her DUI accident situation, and I mean, she looked great. She looked. You would never know that her face was covered in blood just a few weeks or months or however long it was before.
Glowing. I know it is that thing where I think Tamara mentioned in our interview where like she feels Shannon hasn't felt like she hit a rock bottom yet.
Mm.
And it's always, I always say, well, because I read this, rock bottom can be wherever you want it to be. You know what I mean? Like when people say like, I haven't hit rock bottom yet, this could be your rock bottom. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be the catastrophic situation that it is, but who is to say? She's here looking better than ever, Shannon. I don't know if she's feeling better than ever. I think she's a word with some of her friends. I'm wondering, because one of my favorite moments from this episode, and I am curious if it will get her in hot water with Shannon. She probably doesn't care. Emily's reenactment of the accident as Archie.
Can you imagine Archie in the backseat? He's just like, what the we just hit a house.
That if there was ever an Emmy to be given to a cast member on The Real Housewives of Orange County, it would definitely go to Emily Simpson for that amazing reenactment. I do think about Archie a lot in this situation, and I think that although it was a very comical interpretation of what Archie was going through in the back seat, I mean, as a dog owner myself, I'm worried about how Archie felt in that moment. And to think of what could have happened to Archie, I think many people on the cast have said, like, what about Archie? I mean, I think a lot of fans were saying, what about Archie? What about Archie? I hope he's okay.
What's it all about, Archie? Like Alfie, the song. I love that you're so ready for Housewives because, like, as a dog owner myself, that's inconscionable. That is disgusting. I would never to my dog. Like, you're like, we don't talk about children, husbands, or dogs.
Do you know what? Once you get a dog, you start to feel it. And yeah, that was very Housewives of me. But I do love, well, I don't love, I just find it to be an interesting part of the Shannon Beador DUI saga is that she vacated her car and then allegedly pretended to walk Archie to make it seem like all.
She did the Cupid shuffle. Like, to the right. Like, I'm just.
But at least Archie was in a place to have a little walk, so Archie made it through. He made it through the rain.
Okay, we'll take that. Archie. I hope has some therapy. I don't know. I know it's rough. I do also, while we don't know about Archie, we do know that all of the women I think have pivoted to a Diet Coke saga, which I am living for.
Diet Coke, she was like the honorary housewife this episode.
Yes.
She was present in so many moments. Like, obviously, Shannon Beador has said that in lieu of drinking so much, she has now begun drinking Diet Coke, which her daughters were all about that. Like, I forget which daughter it was, but she was like, Mom, can you make me a Diet Coke? And then obviously Tamara was telling us that she has picked up a Diet Coke habit because she has also cut down on drinking. And then I don't know if you noticed it, Danny, but in the scene with Heather and Terry, I think they were talking about their new house and moving to LA or whatever. Diet Coke was right there being a very good listener.
And seeing Heather drink a Diet Coke really made me feel good about. I love all the OC women, but like just because like Heather's very like, like she was talking like $20 million, $28 million renovations. And seeing her with a Diet Coke made me feel like I could get there someday. I could be buying a house and then being like, it just needs $20 million worth of revamps.
Yeah, that's it. And you'll just like be sipping a Diet Coke because you're working it all out with your.
You know what I love? Because like she has a wine. Like I'm sure they have like a Vouv room. Get a DC. That'll be my like Charisse's champagne room. Mine'll be the Diet Coke room, the Diet Coke club. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what do you think of Heather Beador fully living in Los Angeles as she stars on a show called The Real Housewives of Orange County? She owns 3 pieces of property in LA, and I think she has a rental moment in OC that's probably like her filming set.
You just dragged her to hell and back.
Well, no. Hello, that would be my goal. And honestly, I do think that it works for Heather because she can like live that bougie Beverly Hills lifestyle that I think she was born for. Like, I think that's like innately part of her spirit, but she can also still be the top dog in Orange County.
That's true. Well, I do love, I don't know if you heard yourself say it or not. You called her Heather Beador. Beador, like Betty Boop. Boop boop.
Or Heather Beador? Wait, Heather Beador?
You called her that.
I did? What even is a bidet? That sounds like a bidet. Do you know what I was thinking of? Do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of I wasn't Shannon Beador trying to sell portable bidets last year or something?
Oh,
Were
no,
they
purple,
colonoscopies? No. What was it?
enemas.
Enemas, was it? It was something
It was
about
something about poo. That's she's like, you have something about her in West Hollywood. Over in OC, someone's got a poo.
well, then I would like to publicly issue an apology to Heather Dubrow for calling her Heather Bedeau because I was thinking of Shannon Beador's portable bidets.
Bidets in her rental.
Well, her beautiful rental, wasn't it? Like, because she had the party at the country club. Is that where she's renting?
I think so. And you want to know why I have no problem with it? Even though it's a tricky situation because there's Housewives of Beverly Hills and Housewives of Orange County, of course. We know there are creative liberties geographically with a lot of the housewives. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like when you are like Real Housewives of Potomac, we know there was even the whole fight last season. Are you in like what Potomac are you in? Wasn't that between Nneka and Karen where they were like, which, you know what I mean? Like it kind of almost becomes like, I wonder if some of the women are going to bring it up to Heather of like, oh, it took you a while to get here. You know what I mean? So I feel like they do have a lot of fun with that, even so much as like, it's so funny back in the day when people are like, Alex McCord's in Brooklyn. This isn't New York, where it's like, huh? So I don't mind it because it kind of is like very on brand for Housewives overall.
Yeah, it's kind of like par for the course at this point. I mean, the girls in Beverly Hills, I don't know how many actually live in Beverly. They're all
you brought up a great point. Oh, that's true. And you also brought up a great point. Heather has 4 homes now. Can Jen have one?
Oh, I know.
She's stressing me out.
Poor Jen. I think Jen is such a great fit on this show, and I am rooting for her success. But she's losing home. She's getting evicted.
So Gina helped me get into the perfect house. It's big enough for my family, but now we are being evicted.
She's, dating Ryan, who's embroiled in this MLB gambling scandal. I want her to win so bad. Jen, if you're listening to me and Danny right now, like we are rooting for you, Tyra Banks.
You're so good at yoga. You should get more than $50. I don't know how that's happening.
I've had like a personal yoga moment with Jen, and again, I'm not a business person, so I don't know how that all works, but I agree with you, Danny. She deserves more than $50 per class. Like, come on. Like, she deserves so much more.
She really does. And apparently, I guess her and Shannon, she's kind of like Shannon's best bud this season. It's from what Tamara has been slightly telling us.
Well, yeah, Tamara said some interesting things. She said that basically Jennifer and she were doing okay. Obviously, the Ryan MLB scandal threw a wrench in that, but she also said that Shannon threw a wrench in it. She said she didn't really elaborate on details, but she said that Shannon got to Jen and implied that Shannon allegedly played a part in turning Jen against Tamara.
Wait, also, because you've asked me 3 messy questions so far, I feel I'm going to turn the tables on you because Tamara also said she's not the person, the first housewife who brought up the FBI situation with Ryan. What other orange girl do you think did it?
I think Emily.
She's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer, and I think that it would be interesting to her. And I also think that Emily is great at holding people accountable. I think she's a truth teller, and I think she's not afraid to. I don't think that it's her intentionally stirring the pot, but she's not afraid to get involved in a way that stirs the pot.
She'll get in the ball and take someone out. Hello.
Right. Yeah, that's what I really appreciate about Emily as a Real Housewife, and I honestly think that she's one of our most underrated Real Housewives.
She is, and also, I don't know what housewives are on what to do what, but I love that she was very open with the audience. And I mean, she has been on social media and everything too. She's like,
over the course of about a year, I've lost 40 pounds, which was a combination of things. It was a little bit of Ozempic, it was some liposuction in my arms, and it was busting my ass in the gym.
I got some surgery on my arms. I took Ozempic for a minute. I remember she didn't work for her. And now I go to the gym 7 freaking days a week. And she posts all of it to show how much she has been like dedicating her time to that. She looks always a gorgeous girl, like looks so fit now and also is like loving it. And I like that she's like, no, I'm like hooked on it. So I feel like that's also how her, Jen, and Tamra have been starting to hit it off a little bit more because I loved their gym. If I would go to the gym so much more if it was just going to gossip.
Totally, totally. But yeah, Emily does look absolutely unreal right now. And I think that's adding a lot to her confidence on the show and how she performs as a housewife. You know what I mean? Like I've always appreciated her on the show, but it feels like she's experiencing a personal renaissance at the moment, which
Metamorphosis.
I love to see that. I'm really interested to see Danny, like in the preview, I'm not sure if you caught it, but Emily is getting very emotional over what she perceives as Heather Dubrow perceiving her as the big girl, which is very interesting to me because I feel like in 2024, we don't have discussions about weight and body image quite like that.
Remember that kind of happened last year with Heather and her. Because remember what was because like she said Heather called her a cartoon character that I'm like forgetting the name of now.
Oh, yes. What was it?
Like Fluffanuffagus, is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. Yes. It was the thing from the big like burly elephant looking creature from Sesame Street, I believe, which is not very nice. So maybe this is like Fluffanuffagus part 2. Maybe that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, so it could be something. Oh, Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Mr. Snuffleupagus. Okay, so yeah, if someone called me Mr. Snuffleupagus, that would stick with me for a really long time. And you can bet your bottom dollar I'd be taking myself right to the Ozempic clinic.
And also, I'd be Erica Badu on and on about it. I'd be like, they'd be like, oh, do you want to split any appetizers? I don't know. Do you think I could split some? Like, it would be it would hit a nerve. It would hit a nerve.
Oh, yeah.
I also, well, 2 things. I hope Emily's truth-telling tactics bring some truth to Gina because I love Gina and Travis together and I'm really worried about what's happening.
What is your gut telling you need to do?
Like, honestly, my gut's telling me that we need to live it separately.
Yeah, that was a really interesting situation. I was not expecting that at all because I feel like Gina and Travis are so solid. I've experienced the 2 of them together in real life, and they are such a cute couple. And you can tell they ride so hard for each other. They love each other so much. There's so much support there for one another. They even do business together in real estate. Like it seems like a really nice partnership. Of course, they have the Brady Bunch style family with the 3 kids here and the 3 kids there, and everyone lives together in the bunk beds. But now
and that was real talk. But I do feel like it's like the real talk where they're like, we can't afford a house for all of us, which is a very tricky situation. And it's a thing where it's like, because the more I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
I know. And it seems like,
again, Heather, you have an extra house. Heather could actually solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, she could. She's like, remember when she visited Gina's casita and brought over her, I think it was like an HSN clothing line, and she was like, okay, love seeing your house. Also, check out this silver pleather bomber jacket that you can afford on hsn.com. You know, so maybe she could like offer her a wardrobe, a house, something. I don't know. I feel like Heather could step in and save the day. But, real talk, Danny, like I do feel like it is such a tough decision. And like you said, I don't know what I would do in that situation either, because it's like, it's a tough thing. Like, obviously their kids are getting older. They need their space. They need their privacy. They obviously don't want to live in bunk bed situations with their step siblings moving forward as they grow to be, young adults and teenagers. But then again, ripping yourself apart from your partner who you love and adore so much, that's tough. And it seems like that is the decision that Gina has come to. She's like, we need to live separately. And then I forget who it was. I think it was Emily. She said that I think it was in a confessional. She was like, what Gina's telling me is that she's not only outgrowing the house, but she might be outgrowing Travis altogether, which I hope isn't the case because I like them together.
I like them together too. I know it makes me worry, but at least I do like, and I hope this foundation is solid. I do like Gina with the newbie Katie.
Colleen, this is Katie.
Hi,
nice to meet you too. She's my friend. I like that she's young. She's my age. 39, girlfriend. not 59. I just want to live in my youth a little longer.
I know. Katie was fun, huh?
It was a good time. She seems like a good time.
And she, first of all, she's so stunning, but I will say her personality matches her gorgeous good looks. I got to spend some time with her a few months ago at a party for Sutton Strack at her boutique in West
Love
Hollywood.
that she's friends with Sutton.
Yeah, she's good friends with Sutton, which is actually, I think, is how she entered the group. She explained she's friends with Sutton, who was friends with Heather, and then she got acquainted with the group. Okay, whatever.
I think like Katie was looking for a house, and Sutton was like, "Go talk to Gina." So I love a woman who supports a woman in business. She's like, Gina, get the referral.
Right. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Yes. That's how it happened. I'm glad that it happened because Katie's a really cool girl. I spent some time with her at a party for Sutton a few months back, and she was so much fun. And then Sutton was like, "This is the new Orange County housewife." And I'm like, "What?" So we spent the whole night chatting, having lots of fun. She's also really young. Like Gina said, she's only 39. So, or she might have turned 40, or maybe she's still, I'm not sure. Either way, both Gina and I are happy that Gina has someone to play with who isn't 59 years old, you know what I mean? So I think she's a good addition. I think she adds like a fun, bright, youthful energy. And it seems like she causes some fireworks with Heather later on this season.
I don't think she's gonna get one of the Heather houses. Oh,
yeah.
No. Well, we're running. Well, I feel like everybody is gonna love Katie. Like, I feel she's a really fun addition that the Bravo universe will eat up. I am very curious if the Bravo fans are gonna love the John Janssen rebrand to Johnny J.
When you get to know him, you're going to love him as much as I do. He's my Johnny J.
Yeah, the Johnny J rebrand is like mildly
that's
epic.
My Johnny J.
Do you love it?
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. Do you know what I will say about John Janssen is I don't love the things that I heard about him last season through Emily of what Shannon allegedly told her. Like all the rumors about him body shaming her or him being rude to her. Do not love to hear that. But Tamara was telling us that she's always thought John was a nice guy, and with Alexis, he's like a new man. It's like a different John that she hasn't necessarily experienced for a while. Like apparently they can't keep their hands off each other. They have chemistry.
My hands to myself. Yeah.
That's the soundtrack to their romance, baby. And I guess Tamara was saying that she saw absolutely no chemistry between John and Shannon. So this is like a whole different situation. So I guess a rebrand was necessary. The Johnny J rebrand was necessary.
I mean,
I don't know. I will say also, I don't know if it's like a toxic trait on my part. I find him to be very attractive. I think he's really, really handsome. And if the rumors about his appendage are true, that's also not making me attracted to him.
Okay, well, you could be the ring boy at their wedding if they get engaged soon.
Are you talking about that ring or the kind of rings that Tamara
has?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a disposable cock ring.
Why, am I getting lucky tonight? What are you doing?
Which also, okay, we kicked off the episode with Tamara trying to fasten a cock ring on Eddie, which, dreams. But why? What were they doing? And why did he have his little leg things on? Like, what was happening in that scene? We didn't really get an explanation. We should have asked Tamara.
We should have asked her because I don't know, but I'm curious.
Very curious. Like, why there's like a leg mechanism. I think
because that's a PT thing.
A PT. So apparently the poor boy's legs are sore because he works out a lot.
Yeah.
But then there's also, I think it wasn't just a cock ring. It was like a portable or a disposable cock. It was like a special kind of cock ring, which maybe that's a new business venture for Tamara.
DCC, Diet Coke Cox. Yeah, who knows? She could be really. That's how she's recouping that $500K.
Yeah, exactly.
She wastes no time. Yes, which is why I mean this really was a perfect premiere episode of what is going to be such a fun, messy season. I can't wait. The trailer or the coming attractions they shared for it looks so good. I can't wait.
It looks so good. Yeah, it really feels like the Real Housewives of Orange County is in its golden era. I remember there was like a span of time where I wasn't super tapped into the Real Housewives of Orange County. And obviously over the past years, I definitely have been. But just to see the trajectory over the past 3 years from like the Dr. Jenna Noella season to then Tamara's return and to now Alexis Bellino is back in the mix, like it's working. It's working out so well. And I hope we maintain this momentum for years to come. I can't believe they're on the 18th season and that this franchise is almost like 2 decades old. Like, it's just so wild to me. And this season premiere marks the 100th episode, or no, the 100th season, the 100th season of The Real Housewives, which is so amazing. So congrats to everyone involved, including us, to avid viewers.
And also to everybody who's been watching since the beginning, time to up the moisturizer game. That means we are, if the Housewives can almost legally drink as a franchise, we gotta schedule some retinol. I don't know. I might be calling Dr. Tari Dubrow.